Am I the a-hole for laughing when my stepmother was crying over my father cheating on her? Pretty recently, my stepmother found out that my dad has been cheating on her throughout their entire relationship. And when I say cheating, I don't mean one or two flings. I mean multiple affairs over the years. And, as if that weren't enough, he even fathered 2 kids with other women during their marriage. Meanwhile, she and my dad have 4 kids together, my half-siblings who are all really young. So, in one swoop, she's dealing with infidelity, betrayal, and the knowledge that her children now have half-brothers or sisters out there somewhere. The first couple of weeks after she found out were non-stop tears. I mean, the house felt like it was drowning in crying. She cried in the kitchen, in her bedroom, on the phone, in front of the kids. At first it was mostly sadness, those quiet, gut-wrenching sobs that make you uncomfortable just to be in the same room. But after those 2 weeks, the crying slowed down and the screaming started. The fights between her and my dad have gotten more intense, slamming doors, yelling at all hours, throwing words at each other like knives. A few days ago, she invited her sisters over. I guess she wanted support, or maybe she just needed people to vent to. But suddenly the house was full of her sisters talking in low, dramatic voices about how disrespected she was, how humiliating this was, and how she deserved better. They kept asking me, 17F, to join in, like I was supposed to sit with them and pat her hand while she cried. I ignored them. Honestly, I've never liked her, and I don't see why I should start playing the role of a supportive daughter now. At one point, she started crying again, loud, dramatic sobs, talking about how she couldn't believe the man she loved so much could do this to her. She kept saying their love was supposed to be different and special and perfect. I don't know why, but in that moment I laughed. Not a polite chuckle either, a loud laugh that was definitely heard in the next room. Her sisters froze, and I could tell they were shocked. Then the floodgates opened. They demanded I come into the living room, that I look at her, and see how easy it is to laugh when someone is breaking down like that. One of her sisters came to me and told me I should be helping my stepmother right now, not laughing at her. And that's when I snapped. I told her point blank that I wasn't going to help someone I never liked and never cared about. She looked at me like I had 3 heads. Meanwhile, in the other room, the rest of her sisters were hovering around my stepmother, telling her she was strong, telling her she'd get through this, feeding her all the comforting words people say even when they don't know what else to do. But here's the thing, I was kind of laughing again. Not because I found cheating funny, but because the whole picture felt so fake and ridiculous to me. My dad has always been a bad husband and a worse father, and now she's crying like she had no idea? Like she shocked the man who couldn't even be bothered to remember his kids' allergies or a teacher's name turned out to be a serial cheater. So her sister dragged me into the room. She stood there glaring at me and asked, "How can you laugh at her pain like this?" I told her, straight-faced, because I don't care if she's in pain. And because I think she's a dumb B***TCH anyway. The room went silent for a second before they all started yelling at me at once. They called me cruel. They said I was disrespecting the only mother I've ever known. That part made me angrier than anything. I told them to shut the F*** up, and that this whole insistence on treating my stepmother like she's my real mom was exactly why I had no sympathy for her. Because here's the truth. I had a mom. She was in my life for 5 years before she died. And then months later, my dad just went out, found someone else, and decided this new woman was going to be Mom 2.0. Nobody cared what I wanted or how I felt. I was forced into this replacement family dynamic, and my feelings were ignored at every turn. So I said all of that. I told them my dad didn't care about women, he didn't respect my mom, and he certainly didn't respect my stepmother either. I reminded them that his perfect love with my stepmother wasn't any more special than the so-called perfect love he once had with my mom. And when her sister tried to argue that it wasn't fair of me to compare the two, I hit her with the question, "How would you feel if you died, and your very young kids were told within months that a better mom was coming along?" That shut her up. For a second. Then she fired back that my mom wasn't perfect either, that she wasn't some saint. That's when I asked her if she thought she was perfect. Did she ever think that maybe my dad was just a user who badmouthed my mom to justify why he didn't want to raise me alone? I told her I may have been a little girl when my stepmother came into my life, but I would always despise her for constantly talking like she was better than my real mom. For years she's gone on about how their love was special, how it was different, how it was true love. But standing there, watching her fall apart, I told her it was all BS, just like it had been when my parents were together. That's when they really started ganging up on me. Voices got louder. Accusations were flying. My stepmother was crying harder. And me? I walked out smirking because at that point, I couldn't even take the whole scene seriously anymore. Which, of course, only made them angrier. They said I was cruel, heartless, and that I was laughing at her pain again. And maybe I was. Because here's the thing. The stuff I said, I stand by it. Even my dad's extended family has told me my mom wasn't the person my dad painted her to be. My dad was so disconnected that when he first met my stepmother, he didn't even know basic facts about me. He told her I was in second grade when I was only 5. He told her I didn't have allergies when I do, and I was even on medication at the time. He couldn't name my teacher, my doctor, or my allergist. So, if this man didn't care about his own kid, why is anyone surprised he didn't care about his wife either? But now I'm left wondering, does the fact that I laughed make me an asshole? Maybe the timing was cruel. Maybe my words cut deeper than I intended. But maybe, just maybe, I'm allowed to feel the way I do after years of being told to replace my real mom with someone I never wanted to see in that role. So, am I the a-hole for laughing when my stepmother was crying over my father cheating on her?